Hello, I'm Diana Koshtura, a SAS32. Today I want to talk about my term paper. The topic of my term paper is analyzing bike-sharing trends. In my term paper, I will cover a wide range of machine learning and data science concepts through real-life case studies, and it is bike-sharing trends. Through this work and other work, I will discuss and apply concepts learned so far to solve some existing real-world problems. This term paper discusses regressions-based models to analyze data and predict outcomes. So, I want to state problem. As you read, the bike-sharing platforms from across the world are host stops of all sorts of data ranging from travel time, start and end location, demographics or riders, and so on. This data, along with alternate sources of information such as weather, terrain, traffic, and so on, makes it an attractive proposition for different research areas. Unfortunately, in Lviv, I can't find dataset about bike-sharing trends, but bike-sharing dataset contains information related to one such bike-sharing program underway in Washington, D.C. So, I will use datasets that belongs to Exploring in Washington, D.C. To show how we can use this information in our city. So the next stage is exploratory data analysis. It is very important, and I will use idea in my term paper. I will load the data in my analysis environment and explore its properties. And in the picture we can see my steps I will do in my term paper. Of course, I will do pre-processing, correlations, outliers, and distributions and trends. On this picture, we can see a dataset. Of course, it is not all dataset because the dataset contains more than 70,000 records with 70 attributes. In my term paper, in my work, I use Python to visualize, analyze the dataset. And of course, I want to talk about the next stages, for example, types of regression and assumptions. Regression analysis, what it is? Regression analysis is a statistical modeling technique used by statisticians and data scientists alike. I am data scientist, for example. It is a process of investigating relationships between dependent and independent variables. Regression itself includes a variety of techniques for modeling and analyzing relationships between variables. It is widely used for predictive analysis, forecasting, and time series analysis. Types of regression. There are multiple techniques that have evolved over the years and that help us perform regression analysis. In general, all regression modeling technique involves the following: the independent variable x, the dependent or target variable y, known parameters denoted as beta. And I will be shortly linear regression. As the name suggests, it maps linear relationships between dependent and independent variables. Logistic regression, in case where the dependent variable is binarily, for example, 0 or 1 or yes or no. This technique is utilized. It helps us determine the probability of the binary target variable, and non-linear regression. In cases where dependent variable is related polynomially to independent variable. And assumptions. Regression analysis has a few general assumptions, while specific analysis techniques have added assumptions as well. And I want to demonstrate you three. The training dataset needs to be representative of the population billing model. Okay, what is residual analysis? Regression is an estimation of target variable using the regression. Since the output is an approximation, there will be some difference between the predicted value of target and the observed value. We can see the formula in the slide. A regression model that has nicely fit the data will have its residual displays randoms, like funny patterns. This comes from the assumption of regression modeling. Typically, scatter plots between residuals and predictors are used to confirm the assumptions. Any pattern result is a violation of this property and points toward a poor-fitting model. Of course, before I begin to develop the system, I should draw up a plan of work and constructor of the system. So, in the next slides, I will demonstrate UML diagrams and some constructions. In this picture, we can see structure of analysis algorithms construction. The first step is to input datasets, and on the first step, we viewing and reading this dataset. We find some mistakes, and if everything is good, we analyze this dataset, make pre-processing, and highlight the key features. And when all the steps are done, we analyze this dataset using highlighting key features, and we have results. This is a UML diagram of precedents. We could see what should do system. Of course, we should select documents of our dataset. We should queuing a dataset analysis. We should editing results and save the results. And of course, we should include to the first step selection of documentation, viewing the dataset for errors. It is very important. The second diagram is activity diagram 1, UML. We can see that the first step is selection of the dataset, checking the dataset, and the next stage is to analyzing or editing the dataset, and finally we make regression analysis of the datasets we editing. The second activity diagram, it is about mathematical analysis, correlation, regression analysis, evaluation criteria, and residual analysis, as I said before. Distribution and trends. The dataset after pre-processing is ready for some visual inspection. So I want in the next slide to show you some of my analyzing. We can see the similar trends for all seasons with counts peaking in the morning between 7-9 a.m. in the evening between 4-6 p.m. possibly due to high movement during start and end of office hours. I said about linear regression, we can see formula in the picture. And the ordinal least squares criteria is one such technique to identify the best fitting line. And summary. This term paper introduced the bike chain dataset from UCI Machine Learning Repository. So in this term paper, I show you how I will work and what would help me. I utilize Panda, NumPy, and Seaborn, and the line plots, bar charts, box plots, volume plots help me understand various aspects of the dataset. That's all, and I will show the next videos what I do.